Evening, everyone. It's about 6:35 on Tuesday evening, the 13th of July, and this is your closing comment. It is video number 848. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate the support. Okay, so today was an interesting day, both the first big day of earnings and some pretty meaningful economic numbers. The economic number was the CPI, and it came in pretty hot. It came in at plus 0.9% versus the estimate of about half that at 0.5. And ex food and energy, for those who don't drink, pardon me, who don't drive or eat, was also 0.9. The year-over-year number was 5.4% versus 4.5%, so that's a pretty hefty move. It's exactly 20% over last year's. Another piece of news today was the budget deficit, and because it's not seasonally adjusted, it doesn't really compare with anything, and so the important part about that is it was the 21st month in a row of budget deficit, and these numbers are in the 70 billion area. So you can see when I talk about deficit spending how big it actually gets. We also had some earnings today, and the first one was PepsiCo. Handily beat. The stock was up about $2.50 this morning. It actually finished in a down market, up 3.5, 152.96, up 346, or 2.3%. Not so good, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, both of which beat. Now, the JP Morgan, even though it was a beat over expectations, was a decline in revenue. And this morning, that one was down about $1.90, and it didn't really do much during the day. It actually closed 155.65, down 235, or only about a $0.50 worse than it was this morning. On the other hand, Goldman Sachs, which was up 2 this morning, actually finished the day 375.89, and that was down 4.5, or 1.2%. So up 2 to down 4.5, a $6.50 swing on good numbers. And frankly, I say it all the time, one of the things that you have to watch out for in the market is good numbers and bad action, and that certainly fills the bill. What was interesting is that we only had, of the 12 sectors that I follow, we only had one that was up, which was pot and psychedelics, and one that was mixed, which was the large cap, the mega cap stocks, the FANG stocks, all of the big names. What was interesting about that was the fact that yesterday, when the market was up, Apple and Microsoft were both lower. Today, with the market down, Apple and Microsoft were both higher. Microsoft closing just under 281, up 366, which, by the way, added 24 Dow points to the averages. And Apple, which closed up 0.8% at 145.64, up $1.14. The Dow had 18 stocks down and 12 stocks up, with the biggest losers being Boeing, taking 67 Dow points. I mentioned it this morning that they had a problem with 787 Dreamliner production, and the stock was down 4. In point of fact, at the end of the day, the stock was down 10 at 228.20, down 10.09, or 4.2%. As I said, 67 Dow points of the 107 total that was lower. Goldman Sachs took 30 off it, Home Depot 30 off it, Caterpillar 23. On the upside, we had Visa adding 30, and as I mentioned, Microsoft adding 24, and UNH adding 16. So it wasn't all one way, but in a minute I'll give you the Dow numbers and the market internals, and you'll see how weak this market actually was. So the Dow finished down 107.39, or 0.3%, but the advanced declines were 3-1 negative. The NASDAQ, which was up for a good portion of the day and turned down in the afternoon, finished down 55.58, or 0.4%. It too had 3-1 decliners over advancers. Some of the biggest negative in that is that volume was actually up. So yesterday's volume down on an up day, today's volume up on a down day. Really not what you want to see, especially since the Dow, NASDAQ, and the S&P all made nominal new highs, new intraday highs today, and then closed down. S&P down 0.33%, down 15.42. The biggest loser again, and this has been a very tough 10 days or so. The Russell down 42.96, or 1.88%, and the transports down another 135, or 0.9%. The problem with the transports is that it never really confirmed the new high in the Dow. It's been headed lower for a while. Now, another one of the groups are the meme stocks, and I'll just go over 3 of them initially. We have Virgin Galactic, SPCE, which yesterday morning was $59.99, and today's low was $36.09. 60 to 36. Not a 50% move, but damn close. And it closed near the low today, down $3.86, or 9.5%, at $36.83. AMC, which was 54 days ago, closed $37.50, down $5.09, or 12%. And another one that's been practically cut in half in the last month, GME, was $3.44 a little over a month ago, June 8th, in fact, and it closed today $178.60, down 10.25, another 5.4%. So these are the mainstream meme stocks. Now, the Chinese stocks that I have warned you 100 times and will warn you 100 more times not to trade. SGOC, no news, Hong Kong company, $2.09 last week, $29 yesterday, closed today 8.75, down 11.25, or 57%. And CPOP, a deal that came a little over a week ago, 2 weeks ago, at $6 and traded up to 78, closed today at $10.39. That's a new low because it gapped up on the IPO, down 485, or 32%. And another one that I mentioned just this morning, MDIA, another media sort of stock, has gone from 3 to 17 in the last 4 days, closed today $8.21, down $8.79, or 51%. This is the live by the sword, die by the sword mentality of stock trading. If you think you can buy it at the low and sell it at the high, good luck. But if you get caught in one of these things on a downdraft like this, you're hurt. Okay, as far as the commodities go, here we have the bonds, and I have it up on the screen because, as I said last week, I thought we were going to spike higher. Actually, I thought this was the big spike, but it took another day for it to run right into the 200-day moving average and close up on the day, but 2/3 down on the range, followed by the next day down, followed by yesterday, where it closed. It actually made a slight new low, I believe. It's 162.13, 162.09. Closed barely down, but on the low of the day also tried to rally, and then today tried to rally early this morning, and when it broke through this 162.09, it immediately went to 161.06, closed near the low, and tonight is unchanged. We have a trade on in the TBT, which is the inverse. So long rates, short bonds for the 20-year, and it's levered 2-to-1. I think we paid 70 cents. I think they closed around $1. I tried to sell them at $1.20 today, but they only got up to $1.07. But if we follow through to the downside, we get anywhere near this support around 160 and a half, 161. We will get that $1.20. What was particularly interesting about this, on a day where rates moved higher, so did the gold. It didn't close on the high, but it did close up, and I was pretty amazed at that. The CPI numbers took it down and then up and then down again. But as you can see, as I was talking about, we really needed to see it break back to the upside, and a close over 1810.60 was what I was looking for, and we closed 1809.90. So we really need to move just a little bit higher to break it out. And as you can see, it closed about 2/3 up on the range, even though the bonds were down, causing interest rates to go up, which generally hurts the gold, but not today. Another thing that usually hurts the gold that didn't today is the US dollar, up 50 cents. That's a huge move for the dollar, and basically took it right to the recent highs, and instead of letting the 5-day roll over, took it back up. Now, this bears a little looking at. As you can see, we did spike higher. We are still looking at this on a longer term basis, still making a high, a break, lower high, break, lower high, break, lower high, break, lower high. Now, if we get back up into this area around 93 and a half, 93.47 is the exact number, and we go through, then we're probably going to close to 95. But if we turn down, it's going to be pretty ugly. We really are trying to hold this bottom, and the reason for that, if you look to the left, is that we made a major bottom back here in late 17, early 18, and that's what we're coming up against here. On the chart that I drew last week, we had this move down, and it looked like a big double bottom, a W. Down, down, up. We would still have to break through that in order to really justify a change in attitude about the dollar. All right, everyone, that's it. Hope everyone had a good day. Hope everyone has another one tomorrow. Tomorrow we get the PPI, Producer Price Index. We get the Fed Beige Book, and we also get the weekly mortgage applications, which have been down a couple of weeks in a row. All right, everyone, have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe.